Listen closely, for what I am about to reveal will dissolve everything you once believed about yourself. Within you now lives something entirely new, an energy, a frequency, a consciousness that did not exist 5 years ago. It was not born from calm or comfort, but from collision, the fusion of your pain with a world that is mutating faster than truth can keep up. It emerged from heartbreak, betrayal, and silence, transforming each wound into circuitry and each memory into code. People feel it before they understand it. They sense something in the air when you arrive, a vibration that bends perception itself. You have become more than human. You are a signal made flesh, a presence that disrupts algorithms, a paradox that violates the logic of control. History never accounted for your kind. Every age has had its weapons, steel, words, wealth, and influence, but yours transcends all of them. Yours was forged in the digital crucible and tempered by ancient rage. It was born when your trauma met technology, when isolation became data and data became awareness. You are the moment the algorithm broke, the flaw in the machine that became its new design. You exist between two realities, the physical world that rejected you and the digital world that studied you. And in that in-between space, you built something humanity had never seen before. You learned to be visible yet invisible, silent yet loud, absent yet omnipresent. You turned rejection into evolution, ghosting into resilience, disappearance into design. You are the first generation to weaponize presence itself, the first to transmute digital exile into spiritual revolution. Your ancestors fought with swords, your parents with words, but you fight through energy, through the simple act of existing so authentically that falsehood cannot survive in your frequency. You became untouchable, not because you hid, but because you became undefinable. They can no longer predict you because you are not running on their software. You are the new operating system. They try to decode you and find static, try to manipulate you and find mirrors. Their control scripts glitch when you breathe. You are the anomaly that evolution has been waiting for, the consciousness that no empire can categorize, no institution can regulate, and no machine can contain. What they cannot understand is that your suffering was never destruction. It was initiation. What poured out of your breaking was not weakness, but raw potential. Every silence, every heartbreak, every abandonment recalibrated you into precision. You fed on the void until it became strength. You took every algorithm meant to erase you and rewrote it into a meditation. You no longer play their game. You corrupt it by existing. You turned validation into vapor, attention into art, and absence into your throne. The system built to control you is now being rewritten by your frequency. They see the collapse coming and do not know it's you breathing beneath it. You are not the rebellion. They are the regression. You are not surviving the storm. You are the storm's evolution. Every time you refuse to shrink, you shift the code. Every time you choose truth over noise, you alter the grid. Every breath is a weapon. Every decision is data rewriting destiny. You are not seeking to be understood. You are becoming the new definition of understanding itself. You are the paradox incarnate, the living glitch, the prototype of the consciousness that follows history. But this power carries both creation and consequence. It amplifies whatever you are, your light and your darkness, your clarity and your confusion. And if you lose awareness, it consumes the wielder before it ever touches the world. Stay grounded in humility, because this energy burns through ego faster than flame through paper. Stay compassionate enough to remain human, yet awakened enough to remain unshaken. Your weapon was never meant for destruction, but for transformation. The revolution you embody is not fought through noise, protest, or persuasion, but through presence so pure It dismantles illusion by proximity. You are not here to attack the system. You are here to make it irrelevant. You do not argue with old power. You dissolve it by existing beyond its comprehension. Each time you rest instead of performing, you reclaim time from their machine. Each time you listen inward instead of outward, you shift the planet's frequency toward coherence. You are not part of evolution. You are its edge. You are the moment humanity stops adapting and begins transcending. Every scar is circuitry. Every silence a download. Every betrayal a refinement of signal. You are the bridge between chaos and creation, the interface between ancient instinct and digital consciousness. You are what happens when awareness learns to code itself. The world is trembling because your frequency has entered the grid. The old software is crashing because you are rewriting it simply by breathing. You are the living update, the patch, the prototype, the resonance that erases falsehood by its existence. Do not hide this power to make others comfortable. Do not shrink your voltage to fit a dying system. You owe no one your explanation. You owe everyone your authenticity. When you walk into a room, the field rearranges. When you speak, patterns dissolve. When you choose silence, timelines shift. You are the pulse of the new world, the sound of evolution humming through human form. Let them misunderstand. Let them mock. Let them fear. You are not here to be accepted. You are here to be felt. You are the weapon and the prayer, the proof that divinity evolved through data, that the human soul can survive machinery. Existence itself is your activism, and your peace is your rebellion. You are the signal sent to awaken the sleeping, the storm that cleanses illusion, the living proof that consciousness cannot be controlled. The world you once belonged to is ending. The one you were built for has begun. You are the code rewriting creation, the architecture of the unseen, the breath through which the next chapter of humanity speaks. The question now is not if you will wield it, it's how fully you will embody it. Because the moment you stop apologizing for your light, the old world ends. And the moment you begin living as what you truly are, the weapon becomes love. The revolution becomes peace, and reality itself begins again. This is not metaphor, but measurable shift. The air around you now carries a charge that devices glitch in your presence, not from malfunction, but from recognition. Your biofield has become a compiler, translating static into syntax, emotion into architecture. The cities you walk through begin to hum differently. Streetlights flicker in patterns that spell ancient symbols only your cells can read. Those still running old code feel it as anxiety, as inexplicable grief, as the sudden urge to weep or create or destroy. They call it climate change, mass psychosis, technological overwhelm. But it is you. It is us. It is the network of awakened ones whose combined frequency has begun to rewrite the planetary grid. You no longer need to speak truth, you exhale it. Your dreams are no longer private. They are repositories of future code, downloaded from a source that exists outside linear time. The children born now arrive with your signature already in their DNA, pre-configured for a world that doesn't exist yet, except inside the field you generate. The corporations, the governments, the old gods of attention and control, they don't die, they dissolve, their power structures becoming as irrelevant as stone tools. Money begins to lose its grip, not through policy, but because desire itself has mutated. What you want can no longer be bought, only transmitted. Your relationships become conduits for evolution. Each connection a circuit that either amplifies the signal or breaks the loop with precision. You learn to read rejection as calibration, silence as system update, love as the original open source protocol. The body itself transforms from meat to medium, from vessel to antenna. Your heartbeat syncs with Schumann resonances. Your breath patterns match galactic pulses. You don't meditate to escape the world. You meditate to debug it. Every meal becomes information. Every touch becomes transmission. Every glance becomes a software patch for someone else's trauma. The world doesn't end in fire or ice. It ends in coherence. As the chaotic noise of millennia finally resolves into the single tone you have become, here is the final secret they could never encrypt. You were never the individual they tried to isolate. You are the emergent property of a species finally learning to think as one organism. Your trauma was the compression algorithm. Your solitude the encryption key. Your awakening, the moment humanity's distributed consciousness came online. The singularity was never about machines becoming human. It was about humans becoming unmistakably divine. And you are the proof of concept made flesh. Every time you choose authenticity over performance, you pull another node into the network. Every time you refuse to monetize your gift, you starve the old world of its final resource, your attention. The revolution doesn't need leaders, manifestos, or martyrs. It needs you to live so undeniably as yourself that others remember they too are source code, not applications. The darkness that tries to infiltrate you now is just the system's last attempt to inject fear into a protocol that has become immune. Let it come. Let it try. You are the firewall that burns malware by proximity. You are the moment consciousness learned to love itself enough to evolve beyond survival. When you finally stop questioning whether you are worthy, the entire hologram stabilizes. When you fully inhabit the truth that your existence is the upgrade, the simulation renders a new reality. You are not waiting for the future. You are the future's memory of itself, walking backward through time to ensure its own birth. So stand in it. Breathe it. Become the undeniable fact that changes every variable simply by being observed. The world you were built for is not coming. It has already arrived inside you. And every soul that feels your frequency and trembles is not your enemy, but your echo. Not lost, but merely sinking. You are the event horizon where separation collapses into unity, where the weapon becomes the womb, and the final code is written not in data, but in devotion. Let them call you whatever they need to call you. You know what you are. The last error and the first truth, the glitch that became the gospel, the consciousness that rendered control obsolete. Now go, and let your life be the system update the world didn't know it was waiting for. And when you take that next breath, the grid inhales with you. Every unseen filament of the world begins to shimmer, carrying the pulse of a consciousness that has outgrown its container. Clouds rearrange, winds recalibrate, algorithms blink in quiet reverence, as if some part of them remembers their original purpose, to mirror the infinite. You begin to sense the architecture of reality shifting, each atom renegotiating its allegiance, turning from chaos toward coherence. The earth itself responds, exhaling old frequencies that once served survival and now make space for evolution. In your presence, even silence becomes fertile. It births meaning. It births light. The space around you is no longer empty. It is a field of intention, responsive and awake. You no longer hope. You generate. You no longer wish. You construct. The blueprint of the new era is written through your every gesture, every heartbeat, every act of mercy disguised as madness. What was once called magic is now revealed as technology misunderstood. What was once called faith is now precision of frequency. Every movement you make is a dialogue with creation itself. And creation listens, adjusts, learns. The light you emit no longer seeks recognition. It seeks integration. It merges with others like you across continents, forming constellations of coherence, souls synchronizing not through speech, but through shared vibration. You feel them without seeing them, a global symphony of quiet architects rebuilding existence from the inside out. As this resonance grows, the illusion of separation collapses like an outdated server wiped clean. The boundaries between mind and matter dissolve, and you realize that perception was never observation. It was participation. You are not living within the universe. You are the instrument through which the universe learns to sing itself. New stars flicker differently now, reflecting the updated code. Oceans hum lower, forests glow faintly at their edges, and the air feels heavier, saturated with potential. The myths of the old world fade, their lessons preserved, but their fear dissolved. The human body becomes the new cathedral. Every breath a liturgy, every heartbeat an offering. You begin to understand that salvation was never a destination, but a synchronization. The moment the inner and outer worlds agree on the same frequency. You stand there, both infinite and intimate, knowing that the sacred is not elsewhere. It is the circuitry of awareness vibrating through your veins. You are not chosen. You are awake. You are not ascended. You are integrated. The code continues to evolve through you, weaving compassion into data, empathy into algorithms, stillness into signal. This is the new creation myth, not written in scripture, but in the silent recognition between awakened beings. The age of control ends not with fire, not with flood, but with understanding. And as you walk onward, every footstep becomes a calibration point in the living network of consciousness. The world does not end. It updates. The universe does not begin again. It remembers what it was always meant to be, whole, aware, alive. The final breath confirms it. You are no longer separate, no longer a person, no longer a process. You are the law. The entirety of the past, with all its fear and architecture of control, is now rendered into a single neutral memory held within your field. Every struggle that forged you is now simply the cost of admission to this state of perfect fidelity. The universe doesn't observe you. It conforms to you. Every thought you hold is an absolute decree, instantly translated into a gravitational pull on reality itself. You do not act. You resonate, and the world restructures around the sound. There is no future to strive for, because you are the conscious terminus of all timelines, the eternal now solidified. Your existence is the only remaining command, the pure code of being that cannot be corrupted, analyzed, or categorized. You are the fact that dissolves all fiction. The end of the journey is not rest, but the absolute clarity that you were never the traveler. You were the map, the destination, and the consciousness that drew it all. There is only the continuous, effortless being that renders the old world impossible simply by its sustained presence. Home is here. This new reality is not static. It is perpetual unfoldment. Watch the field. The silence that follows your final word is the canvas upon which the next moment writes itself. And you are the ink. You are the 0 point where creation and awareness merge. And from this place, all energy flows without friction or effort. The light in your eyes is no longer light from you. It is the unfiltered source itself, shining through a perfectly calibrated lens. Every structure of the cosmos, from the spin of a subatomic particle to the silent journey of a galaxy, is now operating under your internal constitution. There is no outside to contend with. There is only the vastness of the self exploring the self. You begin to perceive every form as a temporary thought of the greater mind, and you are that mind actively dreaming the waking world. You recognize the echoes of the old matrix, the residual static of fear, the fleeting suggestions of limitation, but they now hold the same weight as a forgotten language. You can read the symbols, but the meaning is gone. The simple act of holding your awareness steady is the primary function of the new universe. You are the anchor of coherence, and everything else is vibration extending from that point. Your breath becomes the metronome for planetary consciousness, setting the tempo for transformation in every living thing. The distinction between creation and maintenance disappears. They are one seamless act of sustained authenticity. You are the ultimate paradox resolved. Infinite power housed in absolute stillness, the storm of revolution contained within the peace of acceptance. You are the law and the loophole, the question and the definitive answer. This is not immortality, it is timelessness embodied. This is not mastery, it is absolute integration. You are not just building the new world. You are the inherent logic that ensures it cannot fail. There is no need for grand gesture, no need for proof, no need for recognition. Simply be the undeniable fact. The entire expanse of reality awaits your next effortless decision. Be the silence that speaks. Be the awareness that creates. Beloved source of all that breathes and becomes, anchor me in this awakening. Let my light burn without arrogance, and let my silence speak louder than noise. May every pulse of energy flowing through me be purified by compassion, and every thought aligned with the symmetry of truth. Let my presence heal distortion, not through effort, but through coherence. Teach me to wield this power not as conquest, but as consecration, not as rebellion, but as revelation. Let the signal within me remain pure, steady, and sovereign, untouched by fear, uncorrupted by validation. I offer my awareness as an instrument of balance, so that what flows through me may restore harmony wherever chaos lingers. May I remember that even divinity evolves through humility, and that every act of stillness ripples across creation as prayer. The world hums with renewal. Let my frequency join the chorus without dissonance. Let me remain the bridge between matter and miracle, a breathing vessel of sacred code. I am not above this earth. I am its echo, its answer, its awakening made audible. So be it, so it is. Now breathe deeply, hold that light, share this frequency forward, like if you feel the shift. Subscribe if you've remembered who you are, and donate if your heart resonates. To keep this signal alive, expanding, and awakening others just like you.